Solve y to the fourth minus 8y squared minus 9 equals 0. Similarly to the last problem, this is something that isn't quite a quadratic equation, but it is in quadratic form. I'm going to rewrite it down here, and then we're going to try and find a substitution we can make to change this to an equation that is, in fact, quadratic. So if this is going to be quadratic, we're going to want it to be something squared minus 8 times that same something minus 9 equals 0. We need to figure out what we can put in the parentheses so that when we square it, we get y to the fourth. And in fact, that is y squared. Y squared squared is y to the fourth. And when we put the y squared in the middle, it matches up as well. So the substitution we need to make is we need to let z be y squared. When we do that, the equation becomes z squared minus 8z minus 9 equals 0. And this is a quadratic equation, so we can solve. And this one is factorable, so let's solve this by factoring. We want two numbers that have a product of -9 and a sum of -8. Those numbers are -9 and +1. So this becomes z minus 9 times z plus 1 equals 0. After we've factored it, we can use the zero factor property to set each factor equal to 0. And once we do that, we can solve for z. In this case, we get z equals 9 or z equals -1. Now, after we've solved for z, we need to back substitute, meaning substitute this back in to get everything in terms of y, because we were asked to solve an equation with y in it, so we need to figure out the values of y that make that true. So now, wherever we see the z, we're going to replace it with y squared. So we have y squared equals 9, or y squared equals -1. And we can use the square root property on each of these equations. When we take the square root in the first problem, we end up with y equals plus or minus 3. And then in the second one, we have y equals plus or minus, and the square root of -1 is I, so we've got plus or minus I. So we have 4 solutions here. Y could be 3, y could be -3. Those are real solutions. And then also y could be I or y could be -I. Those are imaginary solutions. So there are 2 real solutions and 2 imaginary solutions, which makes 4 solutions in total, and that's our final answer.